Hello and welcome to the month of Spooky 2019. Scary stories are a part of our lives. These remind us of our own mortality, get our adrenaline going, and send chills through our bodies that we just can't explain. During the month, you can expect the unexpected, hear the unbelievable, and witness stories that stretch the imagination. These are Ron's Amazing Stories. Well, guys, this is the last of the 4 extra podcasts for the month. What we're going to do is replay this month's 4 5-minute mysteries. Why? Because on Thursday's show, we will play the last of these special FMMs until next year. Yeah, I know it's sad, but keep in mind that a year is not all that long when you really think about it. So first, a bit about the 5-minute mysteries. These were produced and syndicated from 1945 to 1948 to individual radio stations as a barter trade program to sell advertising to local merchants. They were also used for announcements such as goods, services, or for prizes awarded to listeners in radio station contests. The producers put musical interludes into the shows with enough time for the local announcer to present the advertiser's message and wrap things up with other local information. These 5-minute mysteries were a huge success. Today, the scripts are still in use. They are used for college prep classes to teach students how to write scripts and create their own 5-minute mysteries. I stumbled on them a few years ago, and somehow they became a signature moment for Ron's Amazing Stories. And truth be told, I love creating the bits that goes into those advertising breaks. This past spooky season, you've heard some twists and turns in the FMMs. I created a new storyline that presented poor old Dr. Fangfest, who is being tormented by a would-be killer who just can't seem to get the job done. Who is this killer? Will we ever know his or her identity? Perhaps we'll find out this week. For now, let's review all 4 of them, starting with this one from episode 400.
Another 5-minute mystery.
This 5-minute mystery is being brought to you by Melody Goodman. Melody lives in the great state of Texas and has done more for this mystery than any of you could ever know. How do I know that? Well, because I've already heard the story.
Hello. Yes, this is Dr. Fangfist. No, I didn't know it was Halloween. What do you mean surprise?
And that's all I know, Detective, except that before he died, he told me a story that he received from Melody Goodman in Laredo, Texas. Hello, Ron. I got your request from the podcast that you needed a scary story. I have one and almost hate to tell it. Every time I do, I can still feel the fear. It was a late night and I was out driving home from a friend's house. I hate to admit that I had a bit too much and probably shouldn't have been driving at all. I was, but I'll never do it again because in this case, it turned out to be a very bad decision. It was about a 10-mile drive home, and along the way I saw a young boy on the side of the road looking for a ride. I thought to myself, why not? And I pulled over and picked the kid up. He came around to the window of the car, and it was then I felt absolute fear. He spoke in a voice that I will never forget. "Can I get in the car?" I said as brightly as I could, "Well, that's why I stopped. Do you need a ride somewhere?" He said, "No, just want to get into the car. It was then that I looked up at him. His eyes were as black as night, no other way to describe them. It makes sense that they would be wide, but these eyes were as black could be. I felt like he could stare right through me rather than at me. I was terrified, and I immediately regretted having agreed to let him get into the car. It was then he asked me again if he could get in. This time I said, "On second thought, I've got to go. I don't have time right now to take you anywhere. Can I make a phone call for you?" The boy looked down at me and said, "Can I get into the car, please?" It was then I gunned the engine and cut the heck out of there. I was now completely sober and realized the folly of what I had done. I guess it was an adrenaline rush that had saved me. From what? I'll never know. As I looked back in the rearview mirror, I saw the little boy standing there with his thumb out, waiting for his next victim. And that was it, Detective. That's all he said. Well, there you have a mystery that really doesn't have any solution other than it's scary as heck. I hate black-eyed kids' stories, but I love to hear them. I guess that's a personal problem, and I may not be able to fix it. However, this 5-Minute Mystery was brought to you by Melody Goodman from Laredo, Texas. Well, that was pretty simple. The good doctor was shot, but by who? Did you hear any clues that might help? Perhaps this next one, which aired on episode number 402.
Another 5-Minute Mystery.
This 5-Minute Mystery is being brought to you by the country of Germany and our very own Tom Williams. Tom takes a break from growing up to present us with this strange tale of mysterious doings down south. Let's get started.
Hello. Yes, this is Dr. Fangfist. Are you going to shoot me again? You're going to explode a what?
Hey, Chief. I think I found all the parts, but it's hard to know for sure. Sure was a mess. Don't know if it's important or not, but I found this here recording labeled Tom Williams and the Panther. I'll play it right now.
October, as Ron calls it, the month of spooking, with its golden leaves, millions of them to be raked and bagged up and sent out somewhere to a dump. But that's another story. Every time I worked in the courtyard, either cutting grass or raking leaves, there was always this emaciated, one-eyed fox that came through the neighborhood and sat on the corner and actually watched me do my thing. I was never shocked at his presence. As a matter of fact, I was disappointed and a little surprised when I would turn around and he wouldn't be there anymore. But on this one particular October day, I was in the courtyard cutting grass when, for a split second on my left-hand side, there appeared a large black panther. Yes, the panther appeared and pranced 4 graceful steps and vanished, as if it were fading into another scene somewhere or another dimension. I was not shaken by this incident, but more amazed by the beauty, the black shiny coat, and the gracefulness of the animal. It only looked ahead. It never looked in my direction, as if it was concentrating on something else ahead. I've never seen this animal again. It's a shame. What a beautiful animal. Well, anyways, I wish you all the best for the holidays. Sincerely, Tom.
Wow, this is going to take forever to clean up. Now, where did I put that there hip bone?
Ezekiel cried, God bones. Ezekiel cried, God bones. Ezekiel cried, God bones. Now hear the word of the Lord. Ezekiel connected them, God bones. Ezekiel connected them, God bones. Ezekiel connected them, God bones. Now hear the word of the Lord. Oh, when your toe bone connected to your foot bone connected to your heel bone connected to your ankle bone connected to your leg bone connected to your knee bone connected to your thigh bone connected to your hip bone connected to your back bone connected to your shoulder bone connected to your neck bone connected to your head bone. Now hear the word of the Lord. Them bones gonna walk around. Them bones gonna walk around. Now hear the word of the Lord. It's
Well, there you have a mystery that really doesn't have a solution. The panther symbol is featured strongly in the Mississippian culture. It is believed to be a supernatural deity that resides in the underworld. This 5-minute mystery was brought to you by Germany and our very own Tom Williams. Thank you, Tom. Well, the killer stepped up his game with explosives. Now, I know that there was a clue to the killer in that one. Wasn't there? Let's move on to the 5-minute mystery that played in episode number 404.
Another 5-minute mystery.
This 5-minute mystery is being brought to you by Gladys Goodies. Good treats for your dog to eat. Act now and get a 20% discount on all your purchases using the promo code RONS. So head to GladysGoodies.com and get some swag for your dog today. Now for our mystery.
Hello. Yes, this is Dr. Fangfist. You again. Look here. Now you listen to me. You've shot me, then blown me up. Well, this just isn't cricket. What? Turn around? What for? Oh my. This is bloody going to hurt.
Hey, Chief, I rounded up all the cows, but none of them were talking. Sure was a mess. How our killer got a stampede into the house is, well, a real head-scratcher. I don't know if it's important or not, but I found this recording labeled Tom Williams and the Spooky Dog. How about I play it right now for you, Chief?
It is a strange world. After hearing my story about the Black Panther in the courtyard, my sister finally confessed to something that happened to her years ago. She did have a little dog at the time. She has 2 now. But as she was sitting on the sofa, she thought she heard the little dog coming into the room with the tip-tap of the little paws on the floor, and she expected him to come around to look at her, as he usually did. But what came by was something totally different. It was a almost transparent dog, woolly-haired and black in color. As the dog got past her, he turned around, looked at her, and grinned with human teeth. And then he proceeded on into the hallway, where he ultimately disappeared. So I thank my sister for this story, and it is a spooky one. Sincerely, Tom.
Wow, Chief, this guy really must tick somebody off, third time and all. You know, I wonder if all the king's horses and all the king's men will be able to put him back together again this time. Guess we'll see.
Well, I didn't see that coming. Death by stampede. Someone was really out to get poor Dr. Fangfest, who is being played by our very own British guy. Thanks, British guy.
You are very welcome.
This 5-minute mystery was brought to you by Gladys Goodies. Good treats for your dog to eat. There we have it. The cattle did it. Well, no, they didn't, because Dr. Fangfest came back for another round in episode number 406.
Another 5-minute mystery.
This 5-minute mystery is being brought to you by Jim Harold Media, LLC. The home to everything from the spooky to crime scene investigations. If you want to learn more, head to jimharold.com. There you will find the answers you seek, or at least a whole bunch of new questions. And now, this week's mystery.
Hello. Yes, this is Dr. Fangfist. You again. This is outrageous. You just can't keep killing me each week. I'll not stand for it. Now you listen to me. You've shot me, then blown me up, run me over with cattle. What else can you possibly do?
Hey, Chief, it's him again, and well, this time you gotta see this for yourself. If I had to guess, I'd say it was a chainsaw. No recording this time, but there is a sealed envelope here. I'll have one of the boys bring it right over to you.
I received this email from Tracy Jensen in Omaha, Nebraska. Tracy writes, "Hello, Ron. I love the podcast and wanted to share my scary story. I am a mail carrier in Nebraska, and sometimes we have to work some strange hours. One evening I was working late because of the volume of mail I had to deliver that day. It was in December, and the sun had already gone down. I was driving along an unlit street that only had one mailbox at the end. I pulled up to it, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw someone running towards me at an unbelievable speed. I turned just in time to see a freaky face staring at me through the closed window. It vanished as fast as it appeared and was gone. I looked around and saw no one. I shoved the mail in the box and tore out of there. 2 weeks later, I got an end-of-service notice for that address. It appears the resident had died." Tracy Jensen, Omaha, Nebraska. Wow, Tracy, that story sent a chill down my spine. Thank you so much for sharing it with us. Wow.
Well, the note didn't help much. I don't think we're going to solve this case, Chief. The only thing I can think to do is call in a specialist. Do you still have Sherlock's number?
Calling Sherlock Holmes, huh? Well, I hope it works for them because I didn't see anything that could help solve these repeated crimes against Dr. Fangfest. Will this case remain unsolved? Only time will tell. My thanks to Tracy Jensen for sending in that sealed note. A chainsaw massacre. How about that? Our quick note on that one, creating that chainsaw scene was a whole lot of fun. I can tell you for sure that the identity of the killer was tipped in that short, so you might want to listen again if you miss it. Well, now on to the final one of the season.
Ron, you can't play it now. They will have to wait until Thursday.
Oh, that's right. Thanks, British guy. I'll be back this Thursday with the final 5-minute mystery of the spooky season. Until then... That's it for this special edition of the podcast. I hope you enjoyed it, and please come back this Thursday for our regular weekly show. If you want to follow the podcast or the blog, just head to ronsamazingstories.com. There you will find the links that you're going to need. Do you want to help the show? The best thing you can do is to tell your friends all about it. And please leave reviews or feedback wherever you listen. This is how we grow. Thank you for listening, and I hope you come again to find out what are Ron's Amazing Stories.
All of the vintage audio used in the podcast is believed to be in the public domain. Ron's Amazing Stories does not own the rights to any of the old-time radio used here. If you hold the rights to any of the shows played, please contact us immediately at ronsamazingstories.com.